In the last 14 games of 2019, only the Jets averaged fewer yards per play than the Steelers without Ben. And now Roethlisberger may not miss any time at all, but as one example of his importance, FPI would have the Steelers with a less than 40% chance to beat the Ravens without Big Ben on Thanksgiving night. With more, here's Jeremy Fowler.
Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers feel fairly confident that Ben Roethlisberger can continue to test negative on his COVID testing. If he has 4 more straight days, then he can get to Saturday, come off the high-risk contact tracing list, and resume activities with the team. I'm told Roethlisberger has taken extra measures throughout the last 2 months to keep himself safe. He basically just goes to work and then goes home and spends time with his family and quarantines that way. So he'll be at home all week, and he won't get any practice time. But I'm told that's not really a huge concern for the Steelers because there have been many weeks over the years where Roethlisberger's nursing various ailments. He barely practices and then goes out there and throws dimes on the field during the week. So the Steelers are not at all alarmed right now.
How about I learn you up on the Colts Titans Thursday night? First place in the AFC South is on the line. Let's go next gen. All right, as usual, the Titans are going to go as far as Derrick Henry will carry him. He's a big block of a man. Controls Dalvin Cook by 15 yards for the league's rushing title. He's gotten it done with his usual bruising style. It's 321 yards after contact, the second most by any player this season, trailing just Cook. Here's the Colts linebacker, Darius Leonard, on the problems facing a guy like Henry.
He's a DN playing on running back. You know, he's huge. He's more dangerous in space because he's so big. You don't know what he's going to do. He got speed, he got a stiff arm, and he got the size to run you over as well. So in my mind, it's 11 versus 1 against him. We always talk about hamstring tackles, get him to stop his feet, and just gang tackle him. That's what it's going to take to beat this team. You got to stop the running.
Titans have had some recent success passing since returning from injury in Week 5. A.J. Brown has scored in every game and gained 96 more yards after the catch than expected. That's an esoteric next-gen thing. The craft beer, vegan, vinyl record bunch. Problem is, Colts defense, well-equipped as any to deal with the Titans' 1-2 punch. In run defense, Indy has allowed the second fewest yards after contact per rush this season. Meanwhile, against the pass, the Colts have allowed the 4th fewest yards after the catch per reception. Only one receiver has gained more than 30 yards after the catch versus Indy this season. That was T. Higgins of the Bengals. All right, this could be trouble for the Titans offense that's had issues since starting 5-0. Tennessee scoring 10 fewer points per game compared to the first 6 weeks. Big difference is play action, not getting much out of it because they've been behind. They can't use it. Ryan Tannehill's numbers down in that category. Here he is on what they need to do to get back into form.
I think just go out executing, make the plays that are there. We've had some opportunities, whether it's a throw, a catch, a block, and just missed it. And you get behind the chains, put yourself in 3rd and long situations. Over history, you're not going to convert a high percentage of those things. So we want to stay on track. We want to be effective in the run game, take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves in the pass game, and just keep moving the ball down the field. I don't think we need to do anything special, but when the plays present themselves for us to make a play, we got to make them.
Just execute, make plays. That's how John Buchacross plays casino craps. Just hammers the 6 and the 8.
Between the tackles.
Thursday night means a lot for the AFC South. If the Colts can win on the road, FPI sees the division as a 50-50 toss-up. Titans win would put Tennessee 2 games up, making them nearly 90% favorites to win their first division title since 2008.
Coach, player, and broadcaster. Bucci, Maine, we are your trap anchors until Los Angeles Sports Center spits some West Coast rhymes at the top of the hour with Neil and Stan.
Still time to get in our Masters pool. Just go to the internet. We will have Masters coverage coming presently. But first, something about what won't be happening, and that is football this weekend. Number 1, Alabama and LSU. That game is off this weekend after positive COVID tests in the LSU program. No makeup date just yet. We'll get into that in a second. Number 5, Texas A&M and Tennessee game, a no-go. Saturday after A&M players tested positive. These two have a tentative December 12 makeup planned for now. Heather Dinich on board for more perspective now. LSU and Alabama, that's going to be tough to get rescheduled because they can't just make up a calendar. They've already been printed, right?
That's right, Kenny. But what they do have is December 19th, which is the day of the SEC championship game. And earlier today, all 14 SEC athletic directors agreed that the conference should use that day to make up any other games. Now, obviously, if Alabama wins the West and plays in the SEC championship game, they're not going to be able to do that. But you have to remember that it's not just these teams that have been impacted by COVID-19 disruptions. It's other teams and other schedules that have had to been reshuffled. SEC presidents and chancellors are expected to meet in a regular meeting on Thursday, and they could discuss this, and they would have to approve it in order for that to happen.
Well, Heather, it might be meeting upon meeting all over the place because the COVID numbers keep going up in America. So there has to be a great deal of concern about how all games and all conferences are going to get pulled off at this point.
Well, I asked SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey that question, how much concern is there throughout the conference? And he said, we're going to continue to move forward. We can't just throw our hands up in the air and not try to do this. One SEC athletic director sent me a text message earlier today, and he said, let's get these games rescheduled and finish the season. That's all we can do. And that about sums up the sentiment throughout the conference right now.
This is piling on, Heather, but equal concern, of course, is pulling off the playoff series.
As of right now, there are no discussions about changing the date. The College Football Playoff National Championship is scheduled for January 11th in Miami Gardens, Florida. Selection Day is December 20th. I think the reality of the situation, Kenny, is that these 13 selection committee members are going to have to evaluate unbalanced schedules. And